Hey, what's going on, everyone? Yes, I'm still around. I haven't decided what to make videos on because really nothing exciting has been happening in the photography tech world here. But we finally have something, and it's something that I am excited to talk about, and it's something new from Sony. I also have a video very shortly with something from Fujifilm as well, even though Fuji has pretty much stole the year this year in my opinion. But we have something from Sony right now, and it's one of their newer cameras, the Sony A7R Mark V. Now, with this camera, a lot of people were wondering how, because of how things are on the world right now, how expensive it would be. Would it be too crazy and differentiated from what made the A7R Mark IV very, popular, very affordable for what it is, etc. But it's actually coming out for right around the same price. It's going to be $3,900 US. So it's nothing deviating too much from what we've seen before, but we are getting a lot of little updates in here that Sony's reporting on, saying we still have that similar, once again, the resolution, high megapixels, video focus centered, etc. as well, which we'll tackle a little bit in a second as well. But you're getting a 61 megapixel full frame sensor in here. You're still seeing some remnants of the Mark IV in this Mark V, which you kind of always do for the most part. You never see a drastic change for that matter or something like that. But you're getting 61 megapixels, which is plenty enough, even overkill for my opinion. Once again, I even think anything over 24 is a bit overkill, and that's pretty standard nowadays. But one of the biggest things that is being talked about is the updated autofocusing and how it can, it's just better, faster, blah, 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 but just how it tracks things now and how improved that Sony has done with it. So we'll see more of that in testing. If I can get my hands on any cameras ever, I would love to do a thing. So I won't fully go into it, but that is one of the big things here that Sony is saying, is that we've got the autofocus. It's us now. Do something. And I want to get in a video really quickly too, because that is also one of the biggest things that is coming out, once again, about the R line in general, but about this Mark V. And they are doing... they're including a lot with it. I mean, you still have your S-Log, your Cinetone, but you're going to do 8K video at 24 frames per second, 4K video at 60 FPS as well. But just note, there is going to be a crop. You're not getting a full readout. So I've heard some disparaging things on that as well. And there is a crop. You're not getting the full readout. So just be wary of that as well. But in full high definition 1080p, you're getting 120 frames per second, 10-bit as well. So it's going to be packed. I don't think it's obviously going to be real 8K. It's going to be interpolated somehow using certain aspects of the sensor. But that's really kind of, you're starting to see this use of 8K now. And once again, 4K, in my opinion, is still even overkill, but I get the want for people. Now, while they say the body is very similar to the Mark IV, and I know some people who have been hands-on with it, it does have a newer back touchscreen, a 3.2-inch touchscreen, but it's a little bit different. It's a now 4-axis kind of thing. So not only can you tilt and move it out and stuff like that, but it kind of reminds me of what Pentax has with their cameras, and what Fuji did a little bit, but mainly Pentax. It's you can fold it out, go it out, and it's kind of like a crane arm. It's like a T-Rex type of thing. It's really kind of cool to look at, but will it be superly used? I don't know, but I think it's cool that you have options, and I felt very comfortable shooting at various levels with some of the Pentax cameras that I've reviewed before years ago that have had similar things like this. But this one, like I said, it's like a pterodactyl crane, T-Rex crane. And more of the stuff that I'm excited to see is the improvements more internally as well. They now say they have 8-stop, 5-axis in-body image stabilization, which is always great, so you don't have to have a gimbal necessarily, even though it always pretty much works better. But 8 stops is phenomenal. I think that's amazing as well. And the improvement in their DR, their dynamic range of 15 stops as well. I think that's pretty standard nowadays, though. I don't know if that is huge, whatever. I think anything 12 and above is mind-breaking as well. ISO performance on any of these cameras nowadays, I don't think is anything to tout necessarily, just because of how good and advanced our technologies are, but so be it, that's what it is. The one big thing you're also going to see here is a dual memory card system. You'll have a CF Express slot and SD card slot as well, so you can have a little bit faster video options and transferring speeds and write speeds, etc. So I think that is definitely a big deal. So just kind of 2 quick things to wrap off, and I'll recap just the main kind of changes coming with this Mark V compared to the Mark IV. This is really, they've said it themselves, they're targeting more the video market, which once again, we're talking about 8K video, 4K, blah, blah, blah. But they're also targeting the streamer market. Now, I do stream on Twitch myself with other stuff that's not photo tech related, but no one is buying a $4,000 camera to stream, maybe not 95% of the people. So I really dislike when companies do that. They're like, oh yeah, we're targeting the streaming market. It's going to be such a big thing. You're not. You're targeting the cinematography, the cinema market. This is not a $4,000 streaming camera that you just set up. Absolutely not. But they're concentrating a lot on video with this thing. Once again, that 61 megapixels will help you out a lot with all the internet regards. But that is right there as well. But for one of the first times for Sony as well, they have built-in focus bracketing, which I think is very interesting. That, you know, I think it's pretty key as well. So a couple little first, a little improvements, especially to the camera build and etc. from that. But what are some of the main takeaways from the 5 in general? It'll look a little recap. So overall, it's basically 3 things: real-time autofocusing improvements, that entirely new back screen with the 4-axis stabilization, and they want to say the cinema streaming path going forward. Once again, cut the streaming out of it. They're concentrating a lot more in the cinema aspects. And once again, a little bit more improvements over the Sony A7R IV. Autofocusing, body changes, video changes, in-body image stabilization with the 5-axis, and advancing from dual SD card slots, being able to get that CF Express. So there we go. That is what is going to be the Sony A7R Mark V. You can pre-order it now. I think things literally just went, all depending on when I'm posting this. And once again, it's about $3,900. So what are your thoughts on the Sony A7R V? I think it's solid, but once again, I think they concentrate a little bit on some of the wrong things, but it's nice to see that concentration to autofocus. And I think there are several improvements from the 4, but that also means you can catch the 4 at a better price, which is like, what, $3,500, maybe a little less right now too. So you can even save a couple coins on that as well. But let me know your thoughts down below on what the Sony A7R V seems like to you.